call it the Ginging clone, or Mendoza. It's probably the most favoured type of clone of Chardonnay in Margaret River. So on our property, it's predominantly a Ginging clone, but we've also got a couple of other little clones, and one's called Dijon and the other one's Davis. So these bring a separate component to the Chardonnay. So it's all hand-picked at the same time. So we hand-pick the Chardonnay into small buckets just early in the morning. So it's all about preserving the freshness and purity of the fruit in the wine. It goes into a fridge overnight, a big commercial-sized fridge, and we chill that down overnight because that helps to preserve it even further. So it chills down overnight, set at about 0 degrees, and then we just hand load all those berries and bunches straight into a press, and then we lightly press that off. So all that juice is then taken to a stainless steel tank and settles overnight naturally. We don't add anything to it. And the next day, basically, you've got this beautiful, finely clouded juice, and then we pump that to barrel. And so there's a mixture of about 30% new barrels, and second and third use French oak. And that slightly clouded juice, it's what they call the solids in the wine, and that's what helps to initiate a wild ferment in the barrel. So it's like what they call I always call it wild, but people refer to as natural sometimes.
Do you use cultured yeast?
Don't use it. So it's a natural yeast from just either derived from the berry, or it can even come from somewhere in the winery. But so it does a wild ferment in barrel. It takes about a month or so to finish that primary ferment. And then after a couple of weeks, we'll sulphur it up. So we're not looking to create a big buttery Malo style Chardonnay. It's still about keeping purity of fruit and then natural acidity in the wine. So it's got the ageability in the wine as well. As far as Chardonnays go, it's probably a new world style of Chardonnay that's coming out now. So it's got all the components, but it's a lot more, I guess, elegant compared to a lot of styles of Chardonnay that might have been coming out of Australia a few years ago. It'll then spend 9 months in French oak on its lees. So then we stir the lees probably once a month, and that's how we build some more complexity into the wines with the lees stirring. The wild ferment obviously adds a component to it, and then the oak maturation is another component. So it's still a light, elegant style of Chardonnay, but it's got all the components going on it. So at this stage, it's quite a small production. Pretty much, I think, our whole wine. Well, unfortunately, this is the 2015 vintage.
Too small.
And we had bad weather during the flowering period, so yields ended up being at least 50% down pretty much across the region. So yeah, so yields are down, unfortunately, but certainly quality hasn't been affected. It's just unfortunately we don't have the volume there. So but that's kind of the unfortunate thing that happens in the wine industry.
For the follow-up vintage, we had a lot more volume. So it's just 2015.
Sorry.
We also were in that position where Chardonnay had been ticking along for us, but it wasn't something that we sold masses of. And then we sort of seen a step change. I think that the market has been more accepting of Chardonnay, particularly in Australia, but it seems export-wise as well. And so we've had an increase in demand, and then we had the low yielding vintage. So we've run short of the 2015, but we've increased our production from 2016 for Chardonnay, so that we've got good stock holdings again. And we've also started doing a reserve Chardonnay for the first time from 2015 because the quality's really hit its straps. So, and Jez, you're going to talk about the